next comedian, Mary, who would have been your host tonight, but she has had some health issues and we can't wait to see her again. Mary met your next comedian while performing in Singapore. He has a comedy album on Spotify called Chocolate Durian, based on his life in Southeast Asia. He currently continues his comedy from Chicago. Please welcome DeeCee.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So I grew up in a Jamaican home. So thanks to Johnson & Johnson, I can finally say the word Bloodclott without getting into trouble. So, and if you don't get that cultural reference, that means your neighborhood needs some more diversity. Right? Hey, so I have to qualify it that I'm from Chicago because every so often after a show, I always have somebody else coming up after the show to me say, "Yo, you're from Chicago, DeeCee? Word? I'm from Southside." I'm like, wait, hold on a second. I'm not from that Chicago. The Chicago I'm from, like if I'm driving my car and I wave out of my car like, "Hey," someone's gonna wave back like, "Hey." The other Chicago, I do the same thing. Someone's gonna walk up to my window with like you want 5 ounces? 5 ounces? That's not my Chicago. No. But before, back in September, I just arrived back from Singapore. I spent 3.5 years there. Great country. I lived abroad. Loved it. I miss it to pieces. And as soon as I could, I'd love to return there. But guess what? Singapore has like no black people. Hardly any black people at all. In fact, when I arrived in Singapore, they didn't even just use my name. They just called me Black Man Number 5. Like an endangered species. But Singapore, man, their COVID response was stellar, world class. Like the whole world envied how Singapore responded to the COVID situation. But the people there were tense, were on edge because of that, because there's a lot of pressure on being perfect. They're so on edge that when I was on the train or a subway in that country and I cleared my throat, like people would look at me like, I'm like, listen, relax, folks, relax. It's not COVID. It's my Ebola. You're not going to get it. Don't worry, it's going to clear up in 2 weeks. Now, but this country, though, Singapore is so safe. And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with it, because one time I left my cell phone, my iPhone, in a cab. And I drove off, and I panicked. I ran after it. And I got it, picked it back up from the cab. But I thought, in that moment, I felt more angst about losing my phone in a cab than I had lost my black daughter in that cab. Because if I left my daughter in the cab and they drove off, I would have been like, they'll bring her back. Because it's hard to walk around as a Chinese person in Singapore with a small black child that doesn't belong to you. I mean, you can do that with an iPhone. Walk home, say, "Hey, honey, look what I found." It's going to be great use. You can't do it with a black child. Not the same. So, but I had to come back to the United States, and one of the questions I was asked by a lot of my friends when I was in Singapore is, "Yo, DeeCee, now you're back in the United States of America. Well, how's it back home in the U.S.? What are things like in the United States?" And I came back around November time, just before elections. So I looked around and said, "Listen, we have to qualify united. I'm back in states of America, state of denial, state of delusion, state of depression, and the state of Florida." You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Just to leave you on this note, folks, I'm a homeschooling dad, and I'll be straight up with you. Because of COVID, I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I have no clue if I'm effective at all for my daughters. In fact, I won't find out for the next 6 or 7 years with either they're walking across the stage or working the stage, one or the other. Right? And in fact, I'm beefing with my 7-year-old daughter. And here's the reason why I'm beefing. She's a snitch. I said it. She's a snitch. No. Here's what it is. Because the other day, she asked me, "Daddy, I want you to teach me how to spell and type properly. Spell and type." I'm like, "Why are you so insistent?" "Oh, so I can tell Mom how much I hate being your student." 7-year-old girl. I know, jaw drop, right? Now, you think me being an adult, I take the high road and do the right thing? No. I'm petty. I take the low road. So I respond back to her with, "Okay, baby girl. All right, well, today you got a spelling test. Your word today is tattletale. Tattletale. Oh, in a sentence. Oh, okay. Girls like you don't get gifts from Santa who tattle tales. All right, here's another test for you. Words that rhyme. Snitches get what? Snitches get what? What rhymes to snitch? Yeah, folks, I don't care. I don't care. I hope she got the hint, because if she didn't, I'm going to hold her back a grade or two. In fact, she might be getting her menses, a period in grade 4. I really don't care. I'm going to win that war. Folks, my name is DeeCee. That's my time, y'all. Thank you very much, Mary, Harry, and enjoy the rest of the show. Deuces.